Yeah, man. Once again, it is your boy, Shaun Q, my partner like always,
Jay Roman.
and together we are
OSP.
That's right, we are Old School Perspective, and we want to thank everybody for tuning back in and listening to episode 2. We're at 2 right now, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
Yes, yes, from 1 to 2.
Oh, man, we were making that jump. Thanks for everybody who listened to the first one. We appreciate you. This episode, though, we decided to get a little serious. We want to talk about a very serious subject. And we're going to chop it up and get real into it. It's something that everybody has an opinion on. We've all seen it, and people are worried about the condition it's in. And of course, I'm talking about cartoons. Everybody has seen cartoons, and our producer Valtria was trying to tell me earlier that she can't remember watching cartoons as a kid. I'm calling bullshit. Everybody has seen a cartoon and has a favorite. So what we are gonna do, actually, when it comes to cartoons, they're everywhere right now.
Pretty much every day, social media is flooded with pics of old cartoons, memes made from them. You know, we both used to watch a lot of cartoons growing up. So now that we have kids, we're really seeing the difference in ours to theirs.
This is true. And so what we're going to do is we're not just going to be the old dudes who like, well, the cartoons back in my day were so much better. No, we're going to tell you a small list of some of the ones that we used to watch and a list of some of the ones that are out now because we both have kids and we have to watch these cartoons. We have to. If you're a parent out there with a kid, I don't give a shit how you feel about it. There's a cartoon that you never thought you would watch that you are watching now. You can't explain to your friends what the fuck a bubble guppy is. But you, but you watch it. So first, what we gonna do right here is go back. How far back?
Way back.
Back in the time. We're gonna start with the old ones. Let's go into our list of old ones now. This one holds a spot near and dear to my heart. This was one of my favorites. It might even be the first one I remember watching as a kid. I'm talking about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Tell me something about He-Man and the Masters. For the people out there who don't know, how do you sum up He-Man?
Oh, wow. Okay. Cosmic fighters, I guess you could say.
See, that sound okay.
I mean, but no one really realizes that they're in space, kind of.
No, I don't think they ever mentioned that.
They don't mention that they're in space, but they're cosmic, so it's kind of weird. You got Skeletor.
Yeah. It's basically, it was this prince who was, I don't know a nice way to say it. He was a pussy. And he had this creepy little tiger that was with him at all times. And every time something bad would go down, he would take this sword, he'd go around the corner, like Superman used to jump in a booth. He would go around any corner, like behind a tree, behind the castle. Like if he was going, I have to go take a leak. And he would come back. When he would grab his sword, he would put it in the air and go, I have the power. And he would turn into He-Man, this big roided up dude. And he would point the sword, like animal abuse, at his tiger. And his tiger turned into what you call, you ever go to a bar and they had like the cougars? You're like, oh, there's a bunch of cougars at the bar. The cougar's mom. Like the great grandmas who were out there in the club trying to get down, we call them battle cats. He would turn him into a battle cat, and this tiger was just roided out. It was crazy. It was so fun to watch as a kid because you're watching. It's got kings, it's got aliens, it's got creatures, it's got Skeletor, who, if you look back at it, is hilarious. It had a spinoff with She-Ra, where it was like his sister, and it was empowering for women, kind of, even though she was half naked. It was just He-Man was the shit. He-Man is the one that started me on cartoons. That was like one of the first ones as far back as I can remember, He-Man was the one. The good follow-up to that would be Thundercats.
Thundercats was pretty damn good.
Thunder.
I mean, Lion-O.
Thunder. Thundercats.
Oh! In fact, I worked with a girl named Shatara.
Get the fuck out of here.
And when I asked her, who named you that name? She said, my mom. Because she loved the Thundercats.
Hey.
I could not believe I met someone.
Shout out to that girl's mom. quick moment of silence for her mom. That lady's just dope. For all these people, all these hippies that was naming their kids Rainbow and shit, don't give Chatara's mom shit. All right? Yeah. She liked the cartoon. She ran with it. So I love that. Thundercats was the shit. The thing a lot of people didn't know about Thundercats, and I found out later, was on the Cosby Show. Grandpa, the old dude, he was Pantera.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. He was the one with the nunchucks. I'm coming, Lion-O. I remember they were doing some skit on the Cosby Show, and he was doing a voice. I was like, why does that sound so fun? And then I looked it up. I was like, oh my God, that's Pantera. That was dope. What else we got?
I'll tell you right now, man, you remember way too much of these things.
I have a terrible, brilliant memory. They're gonna donate my brain somewhere, and this is gonna be poked at. What's another? Give me another one. What's another classic?
Oh man, well if you're gonna go Thundercats, you got to go with something that is from the same time, and this is actually even before Thundercats, but everybody knows this, especially if you know He-Man. Transformers.
Oh yeah.
I mean Optimus. I to this day make the Transformers sound with my mouth, just randomly.
Do it
out of nowhere.
Do it.
It's a very terrible version.
No, it is.
But I still make it just randomly in the store. I'm in the car.
It's in your brain.
Because I feel like
I am on crutches, and when I want to scare my nephew, I'll act like a child. And I'll just fucking run towards just to freak him out. Transformers obviously was a big deal. They made movies about it. That's made millions of dollars. The toys, just like He-Man and Thundercats, Transformers, Mattel, they jumped on that, man. They had toys. They set it up like that to make toys. I think the He-Man toys came out first, and then they made the cartoon. And then with Transformers, it was the same thing. So they were putting cartoons and toys together to tie in, because you would see it, and you're like, oh, I want a Transformer.
Pretty easy transformation there.
As much as I liked He-Man toys, like to turn a car into a robot was some dope shit. Like you couldn't compete with that for a long time. We weren't born during like the Star Wars era, so we didn't know what it was like to like build a Death Star and fly the Millennium Falcon. But to turn a car into a walking robot was dope as shit back then.
Or a jet.
Or a jet.
Or
a boombox.
Boombox.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
You best believe that was my favorite part of Bumblebee.
Another one that was out at that time was the cartoon that I feel like was military propaganda.
You watch it now? Absolutely.
G.I. Joe was so many dummies were joining the military after seeing that, thinking they were going to be in G.I. Joe. Man,
no.
That whole, go back, you know what, YouTube, the original 80s intro to G.I. Joe, and watch it, and it sounds, you can be like, oh my God, they were trying to get these kids in war. It's like fighting terrorism, and Sergeant Slaughter was in the original, like he's in the original intro, but he wasn't in the original G.I. Joe.
True. Well, I think the intro changed a little bit, but if you think about the time of the show, we were also still in the Cold War.
Yes.
For a little bit longer. So all those were, granted, Cobra wasn't the Russians.
Right, but
it was pretty much the same idea. Going to foreign lands, doing whatever we can, and they just try to take us over. Still fun, though.
Yeah, G.I. Joe was very entertaining. And G.I. Joe, I think, had more actual toys than anybody else, because there was so many fucking characters. They were just making up characters like Fraggle Rock. It was just out of nowhere. It was a different type of G.I. Joe you had never heard of.
Do we want to take it a few years later now? Do we want to...
I don't know if we're doing an actual timeline or we're just missing. You know what? But either way, you pick the next one.
Yeah, well, that's kind of true. I guess not. But
it doesn't have to be on the timeline. Just pick one.
Well, let's go with... This is a good one, especially for right now for the non-believers. Captain Planet.
Oh, he's our hero. Gonna take pollution down to zero. Man, if you didn't watch Captain Planet or seen at least one episode, 1, you're lying about it. 2, you should probably be listening to something else. Please don't leave us. I'm joking. Captain Planet was like the hippies' answer to G.I. Joe. It was like, all right, now that we're done destroying everything,
yes,
time to clean up. It's time to clean up the ozone. They had what? Wind, water, earth, fire, and everybody's favorite, heart. Because you can't save the planet without...
What? Well, that's right. That's right. Because the heart stands for the love of everything. You have to love the planet to take care of the planet.
I always wanted him to I just wanted the one with heart to put the ring up and be like, well, this is stupid.
Well, I mean,
you can't.
I have to look up the years, but I mean, if you would have left it up to like Ronald Reagan, he would have canceled that show in a heartbeat because he didn't believe in renewable energy or something like that.
No.
So don't leave it to that guy.
All pro pollution.
He's long gone.
Have you ever seen the Don Cheadle Funny or Die Captain Planet?
No.
It's hilarious.
When we're done here, I'm gonna watch that.
You have to see that. Don Cheadle is Captain Planet, blue and everything.
How old is this?
I want to say within the last like 8 years.
Oh, so this is and the current Don Cheadle that we know.
Yeah, it's really entertaining as far as Captain Planet goes. I'm going to switch. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna do another one that actually blew up. That's so big that they still make movies about it now, and the movies do great. My kids watch the reboot that's on Nick Jr. now.
Yeah,
the Chipmunks. Woo! Everybody watched Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yep.
And it's funny because the cartoon was out in our time, but the Chipmunks were out a long time ago. Like they had records.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because all you need to do to make Chipmunks is just speed up a track. That's it. And they would speed up tracks back then, and they had the Christmas song by the Chipmunks, which is...
You can buy the albums.
Yeah.
Chipmunk, whatever album.
That's crazy. You're listening to people in the studio with their voices sped up. That's it. That's anybody can be a fucking chipmunk. If I knew how to play with this mixer right now, I would turn our voice to chipmunk right now so you can see what I'm talking about. How easy it is to be a chipmunk. Cool. That's all the chipmunk stuff. But we all saw it. Alvin and the Chipmunks. Oh man, we all watched that. Give me another one.
Oh, come on. We got to go with. It's a block, so we're talking Tailspin, Darkwing Duck.
Oh, the Disney block.
Yeah,
the Disney block.
Oh, there's one more in there.
In that Disney block, there was it went like this. So I remember watching it. There was Tailspin.
Yeah.
There was DuckTales.
Mm-hmm.
There was Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. There was Darkwing Duck, because when there's trouble, you call DW.
I hated that one, except for Gizmo Duck. I hated Darkwing.
Love Darkwing Duck. There was that, and then there was I think me and your absolute favorite from that, which was Gargoyles.
Gargoyles is pretty good. I have met the artist of Gargoyles, and he signed a couple issues for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got a side note for you. Do you know who was the main voice at Gargoyles?
Do not remember.
You don't know who played the main Gargoyle?
If I watch it now, maybe, but I was never good at identifying the voices.
As soon as he starts talking, you would know exactly what it is.
Probably
Keith David.
Oh, okay, see now, yes, I would, because I know Keith David's name very well.
And if you see the intro, he's like, "We are Gargoyles. 1,000 years later, we're still fucking up on this building." I love Keith David. It's funny because as we get into the newer list, you'll see some cartoons that are out now. He's still doing it. He's still doing great voiceover work. Oh, yeah. He's years. People like him, Cree Summer, Kevin Michael Richardson have been doing voiceover work for like hundreds of years. It's incredible. Tailspin. One that wasn't there, but I know it was like one of the most watched Saturday morning cartoons, I want to say ever, so much they had to put it on regularly, would be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtle Power. If you didn't watch Ninja Turtles or have a Ninja Turtle toy or laugh every time somebody offered you pizza, I don't think we've ever had a real conversation.
I think Ninja Turtles is that I know of, the first cartoon, toys, movies combination that I know of, that I can remember. Not saying it's the first one ever. Okay. That I can remember from my childhood. Okay. Because it was, ooh, cool. Oh, and video games. Yeah. So they were hitting you on four fronts. They hit you with the toys.
Because with the first three, I would say He-Man, because He-Man did have all three.
True, but
He-Man had the toys, the
Masters
cartoon, and Masters of the Universe came out before Ninja Turtles.
And Dolph Lundgren.
But there was no He-Man video game. If he does, he does. But I don't think that. Yeah, Ninja Turtles was hitting you from everywhere. Merchandise. You had clothes, pajamas. Yes. They would sell little bandanas that was like it should cost $3. It was like $20.
There was very few video games that could beat that in the arcade. Man, very few.
It was, and this was like before they started putting like Mortal Kombat. Yeah. And everybody. Yeah. Everybody would be on Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. It was a 4-player game.
People would like fight for Michelangelo. I'm like, dude, his little ass nunchucks ain't gonna hit nobody. Move. Let me get Leo. Dummy. Yeah. Ninja Turtles was the shit. There are two. Actually, I'm gonna save those two. We have this one. There was a group there. Steven Spielberg has made like 4 cartoons, and they've all been on for a long time. But the 2 he did that lasted the most were Tiny Toon Adventures. Okay. And then my favorite, Animaniacs.
I never truly know how I feel about Animaniacs. I have to watch it now. As an adult,
you know what's funny is you would appreciate it more now because it's not meant for kids.
I probably would because I knew back then it wasn't meant for kids.
You did not put your phone on vibrate.
I knew back then it wasn't for kids, and probably only because I didn't get some of it. It just wasn't funny to me. Right. But now I'm sure it is.
You could tell in the intro when they say, "Well, Bill Clinton plays the sax." Kids are like, "I don't get that." True. Well, it was on Arsenio Hall. We got it. Like I don't know. We watched it. But yeah, if you watch Animaniacs now, a lot of the jokes make more sense. The thing I liked about it was, as far as I know, now I'm not a historian as far as cartoons go, but it was the first cartoon that I knew of that actually had a spinoff, which was Pinky and the Brain. And so I didn't know that they could. If you have a cartoon that's been on long enough to get a spinoff, that's some dope shit. That's legit. Because Pinky and the Brain went on for a little while too, so they actually had enough stuff to get a spinoff from a cartoon, which I think is crazy. Now we get to the real deal. Yes. We are currently in the Marvel versus DC, which has been around for, 100 years now? Marvel and DC have been going at it. But now with
Marvel's
the movies.
about to celebrate 80 years. Congratulations.
Yes.
80 years right
now. I know like Batman turned 80 earlier this year, and that's just him. So DC's been around for a while. But we are at the point now where it's like Marvel versus DC. Kids are seeing it with the movies and shit before the comic books are going at it. But on TV, 2 of their best products were actually going at it. And that was Batman the Animated Series and X-Men the animated series.
Oh yeah.
Both of which I not only own but have seen every episode of before I owned it. Every episode.
Pretty sure I haven't seen every animated series, although I did watch it a lot. X-Men though, at least twice each. In fact, there's still a meme today that circulates every time something happens and people want something longingly, and it's an image of Wolverine looking at the picture of what should be Jean Grey, but they always change the picture to something else, and Wolverine's caressing the picture. That's from that show. If you don't know, people.
I remember the intro to both of them. Both of them had and then with Batman, it was so dope they got Danny Elfman to do the intro to the cartoon. That's how
Who
you
the
know.
hell's Danny Elfman?
What did you say to me?
Man, you are the movie / name aficionado. I just watch them and appreciate the art of them.
Okay. Do you remember Batman the movie, the original, Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson original?
Are you really asking me that right now?
Okay. The music was done by Danny Elfman. Do you remember Beetlejuice? The music was done by Danny Elfman.
Of course. I
pretty much
name the years I watched them.
Pretty much anything Tim Burton has ever been associated with, Danny Elfman has done the music for, as well as a lot of other shit.
See, why do you know that?
Because I hear names, like I'm in music, I'm in movies, I listen, I pay attention to names.
That makes sense.
So when I go somewhere, it's like this featuring Danny Elfman, you're like, oh, that's a big deal. Or even Seth MacFarlane, who we'll talk about later, he kind of made fun of it. They were doing their Star Wars episode. And John Williams is the guy who does all the Star Wars music. Oh. And so in the scene, he gets blown up. And they go, damn, now we got to do it with Danny Elfman. And it sounds like Beetlejuice.
See, that's pretty funny.
It's entertaining.
But it helps me if you do something like, oh, this is John Williams, the guy who did Star Wars music.
Right.
That's what I know.
Right.
Like, that's how I need it.
That's how I found it, yeah. So with Danny Elfman, they're like, oh, now we got to do the rest of the thing with Danny Elfman. And it sounds like Beetlejuice. It's fucking hilarious. So that's what we're going to cover for the old ones. That concludes our older list. Shout out to anybody who's ever seen those. Feel free to chime in, whenever you want. Hit us up on Instagram at Old School Perspective. On Twitter, we are OSP. Let us know what older cartoons you watched. We are going to take a quick break. My producer said I have to say this a certain way without offending people. Basically, we got to go pay some bills. So we're going to leave for like 30 seconds. We're going to come back to y'all. We're going to go over the new list of what's out right now. Cool? Cool. And we are back. Bills are paid.
That was fast.
All right. So I know your daughter is young, not even 2 yet, right?
So she's just getting she just turned 2. She's just getting into a few things. She knows the animated films,
right? But
not a lot of the actual cartoons, except for like she watches this one Baby Bum.
Right. I think every baby has watched that. That came out of nowhere.
It's pretty good.
Both my kids watched it. My nephew, it helps him fall asleep. So the newer ones I know, my kids are 5 and about to be 7. So I watched a lot of cartoons. So the list that I have is composed of those that they watched, tips I got from other friends who have kids who they watch a lot of cartoons with, and Google. But I've seen everything on the list, if I say it. My first one that I like the most is one that I actually watched with your daughter. My niece, we watched Teen Titans Go. Now, for a lot of DC heads and comic book heads like yourself, it's not Teen Titans. However, because Teen Titans, the animated series, is really good, but it was very serious. It was very intense. This is the same voice actors for the same characters. They just made it much more kiddie and funnier and entertaining.
I did not know it was the same actors.
It's the same cast. So much so that they often make fun of themselves, where they say, we used to have better animation. Look at what we used to look like. Yeah, and they'll show like an episode of Teen Titans.
I really got to get into the Go. I've liked the idea since I've heard of it.
Right.
I've only seen an episode or two, but I really got to get deeper into it.
You should watch it.
I'm going to.
It's so hard. I remember we were having a conversation when we went to the Yankee game, and I was telling you and my boy James, you got to see it. And y'all both were like, no, I'm not going to watch that shit. It's not Teen Titans. I was like, but it's funny, man. It's entertaining. Same crew and everything.
But now I have a little girl, and she's into that stuff.
Yeah, she watched it, man. She watched the whole thing with me. She, like me, she's a Beast Boy fan. Another one that's been around for a minute that you can see merchandise for everywhere is Adventure Time.
Yes.
How do you feel about Adventure Time? Have you seen
I think Adventure Time is cool. I haven't seen the cartoon, but I know the comics.
Okay.
I think I knew the comics before I knew the cartoon.
Okay.
And I have a few first issues, and I have maybe a trade. I never really got that much into it, though, because I only had those couple, and I had so many other stories to catch up on.
Right.
I couldn't really get into it. But I have a couple of good covers.
It's been a while. It came out with like Oh man, what it was the regular show. A regular show with a lot of stuff came out with, but Adventure Time has been around for a minute. I like it because I like the voice of Jake. Is it Jake or is it Finn? I think it's Jake. Is Bender from Futurama, John DiMaggio.
Oh yeah, Bender's cool.
That dude, yeah. So I hear him, and I can't not think of Bender when I hear this dude on Adventure Time.
Oh, you know what I got? I have some BMO figures. That's from
Adventure
Time,
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I have
some little game.
I have a couple of yes.
Yeah.
Once I saw that, I was like, okay, this has got to be my part of my collection.
Yeah, because it's a little walking Game Boy. Another one that my daughter was absolutely in love with as a kid that I don't think she watches it anymore now that she's an adult at 7. Was Doc McStuffins.
She doesn't watch that anymore?
No. Doc McStuffins used to be her peanut butter, her jelly, and her jam, too. If you haven't seen it, Doc McStuffins is a little black girl. She has a bunch of toys, and when they get sick, like a stitch falls out or something, she hits a little stethoscope and they come alive like Toy Story, and she could talk to them. Nice. And she heals them. They do a little time for your checkup. I think it's dope because support black doctors. Yes. She it's a real cool concept, and I always said, I don't know if they've done it yet because I haven't seen it in a while, but they have this one on there called Sophia the First. And it's about this girl who's like, it's her first time being a princess. I guess her mom or dad married a king or whatever.
Is her name Sophia because she's Spanish of some kind?
No, she's not. Her name's Sophia. She's as white can be. She's got blonde hair, blue eyes. Okay. And she's Sophia the First, and she's like the first princess in her family, whatever. Like her mom married a king or something. Okay. So she's learning how to be a princess. Her little dragon buddy, whatever, is Wayne Brady on the show. Oh. And so what they do is cool is they have crossovers. Huh. So they'll have like other Disney characters in there. And I always said, I don't understand why they won't have anybody from Toy Story on Doc McStuffins. It only makes sense. This girl fixes broken toys. That'd be really cool. Right? How dope would that be? Like all new Disney crossover, Doc McStuffins fix Slinky. Fucking anybody. Pick one of them.
That one's free for you, Disney.
Right? You're welcome. Pay me later. Sponsor us. So Doc McStuffins is a cool one. Sophia the First is not a bad one. There's one that I watched. It's not obscure. A lot of people know about it, but it's one of those like Animaniacs where kids are watching it, but they're not getting a lot of it. And it's called The Amazing World of Gumball. And it's on Cartoon Network. And it comes on right around that time where junior high and high school kids should be home. Okay. You get it? So it's not made like for kids. Like my kids watch it because it's colorful, but they don't get a huge amount of the jokes. And it's really entertaining.
Because it's more intelligent?
Like it's more intelligent. Okay. It's made I think it's made in Europe, even though they all speak perfect English. They're all English actors from America, but it's made in Europe and it's really funny. And they do like time travel stuff. Like anyway, it's really
what accents are they using?
They're not. That's what I'm saying. Not using. They're speaking American English. Interesting. But the show is shot in Europe and taped and all that. I think it's like on BBC or whatever. Okay. But it's a real dope show. If you haven't seen it, go check out like 2 episodes. Let me know how you feel about it. Pick something from the new list. What we got?
New list. Boss Baby. I mean, I have seen a lot of Boss Baby.
Okay.
Is that too new?
No. So no, that's relatively new.
Because I saw the movie.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. And I saw on Netflix that they put a show, and I was like, oh, let's see what this is. And I thought maybe it was just another movie or something like that, but no, it was episodes, and they're really freaking good.
What they did is Netflix, in all their genius, the biggest, cartoon competition for Disney. Like if there's a cartoon out right now and Disney didn't make it, Disney Pixar, it is DreamWorks. And so what Netflix did was they signed a deal with DreamWorks to where every movie they put out, if they want, Netflix will give them a series. So because of that, you have Boss Baby, you have Shrek the series, you have How to Train Your Dragon the series, you have Captain Underpants the series, you have Cloudy with a Chance of Meatball the series. So if you like the movie, they follow over and they create a series for it on Netflix. So pretty much any decent DreamWorks movie that you saw that was animated in the theater that did good, there's a series either on Netflix or coming to Netflix. And I think that's just brilliant because instead of watching the same, like if you have a kid that wants to watch the same thing over and over and over again, you can go to Netflix and like, look, there's 20 episodes of it here. That's what I do with my kids.
That's what we do with Boss Baby. So that's what's good.
That's brilliant. We saw Captain Underpants, and now my son will be like, Captain Underpants. So he'll just watch the whole series. And it's actually really good. They get good writers and everything.
Since your kid's a little older, I got to catch up a little bit. Mine's only 2, so I avoided all these things for a while. But now I'm getting into them, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. And
you can't avoid them forever.
I guess not.
You can't avoid them forever. They catch up to you.
Yeah.
Another one that's out right now is Steven Universe, which is more of it's like that junior high school cusp as well.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of advanced. Like I know one of the characters on there was Estelle, the singer.
Okay. Oh.
With her accent and everything, it was pretty dope.
Oh, that's dope.
And it's
I didn't know that. I would have maybe given it a shot if I heard something about that.
It's different. It's not really for kids. It's more for like tweens, in betweeners.
Tweens.
Yeah,
right.
It's for tweens or whatever.
I've seen the figures.
Yeah, you got to check it out. It's not bad. It's different. It's kind of slow, but it's not bad. But when you're talking like kids, then you're talking like bubble guppies. Like if you make the transition from Baby Bum to something, it would be like Umizoomi or Bubble Guppies. These are shows that are colorful and they're teaching your kids how to count and they're teaching them, patterns, and this kid says super shapes. When I say that, my son thinks it's the funniest shit in the world. Super shapes. I don't know why, but it's from Bubble Guppies. It's from Umizoomi. And then from that, you can go to like Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol is the same thing. It's called a group of dogs who all turned into like super dogs. They all have talents. I've seen that one. Shit. Yeah, my nephew loves that one too. And I learned a lot of this is the animation. Like I put my daughter on, like I made my daughter sit down and watch Thundercats with me, and she's older, so she loved it. My son, it's like his eyes are fixated on today's animation. So because Pixar is all these kids know, any animation that's not Pixar oriented, he doesn't really care about. He doesn't give a shit.
I can see that.
Yeah, so you remember Thundercats was like dark and older art drawings. It was before computers; they had to actually draw it out. He looks at it, he's like, "Nope, not feeling it. Over it." He won't even look at it. I'm like, but look, man, there's a sword and he doesn't give a fuck.
Then what about older Disney films like Jungle Book?
He doesn't like
it. What?
My daughter does. My son, he won't watch it.
All right, he needs to get a little older.
And so the movie, they love the movie, and so because of the movie, my daughter will be like, hey, let me see the cartoon. As soon as the animation comes up and they like 1960s music, he goes, nope, you lost me, and we lose him.
So that means he still has not been able to get into X-Men and those ones because they're
he doesn't. Basically. And my daughter loves all of it. He won't watch it.
That must just be an age gap thing.
It's got to be, or he's just doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't. He's like, I don't. It's not bubbly enough for me. I won't watch it. There is one that's on the newer list. I don't know if you can count it as one or all of them. There is a fucking Lego fucking everything show. Legos have taken over Legos used to be dope. If you thought Legos were big back then, turn your TV on. Scroll through your guide. There's a Lego something on.
Just search Lego in Netflix.
And watch what happens. Just search Lego anywhere.
Yes.
There's like 95 different Lego cartoons on. Ninjago this, Lego Star Wars, Lego Marvel. Lego apparently bought everybody's license. It's like, we're going to make them Legos. Hey, I like what you did with that movie. Now you're a fucking Lego.
And if you bought Lego stock 30 years ago, you'd have a ton of money. If you bought a lot of Lego stock.
You know what's funny is if most of you probably didn't because you probably stepped on a fucking Lego. And you're like, I'll never buy stock in this company that just ruined the bottom of my fucking feet. Fuck you, Lego. That's I would now. Yeah, Lego's everywhere right now.
No, don't F you, Lego. We love you.
We love you, Lego. We would love to be Legos. I just want mine to be the right skin color and get my beard right.
Yeah, I can't do the Legos too much though. They're really super dope. Don't get me wrong.
It's
super dope. There's so much going on. I can't even play the games.
I
can get about 5 minutes into the game where I just want to change the characters because they look too much like toys.
They look
I don't
like
want to play with toys. I want to play with characters.
I have been looking for a good Marvel game. I'm so glad Marvel Alliance 3 is coming out. And I hate that every Marvel game that comes out is Lego.
Yep.
You're like, you want to play Jurassic Park? As a Lego? You want to play Batman? As a Lego? No, I want to be a fucking Lego. I just want to play the game.
We still love you, Lego.
Right? But every Lego's dominating, all right? Listen, a few years from now, we all going to be marching in the streets towards a fucking Lego building because that's what they're going to tell us to do. Pay attention to your Lego overlords. So another difference that we noticed is, remember when we were younger, there was only one cartoon that was on after 7 o'clock at night.
And my wife was actually not even allowed to watch it.
Because
it was too mature.
There was one cartoon, if you know what we're talking about, it's been around forever. It's not going anywhere. The only cartoon you could watch after 7 o'clock was The Simpsons. That was the prime time.
Simpsons.
That was the prime time cartoon, and it was one of those, like, they had no competition. None whatsoever. And even now, with all the competition they have, they're still going. But that was the only prime time cartoon. Now, there is an abundance of adult and prime time and nighttime cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
But there's so many. Me and my kids watch Bob's Burgers, which is brilliant. H. John Benjamin is the guy who plays the voice of Bob. It's like his show. H. John Benjamin is a genius. He did Archer, which is also I named my son after the cartoon. That's how much I like Archer. Told you gotta watch. Just watch.
No. Don't tell me I gotta watch it. I have watched it. I don't
How much
like
of it have
it.
you watched? What season?
A couple episodes. I don't know what
See,
season. The first season. It's just too out there. It's
out there.
It's too corny.
Are you fucking kidding me? Archer is too corny?
I can't do the corny. I can't do the corniness.
In what way is Archer corny?
What way is it not?
It's not. It's adult humor about a spy who gets drunk and really fucks his job up a lot. There's a movie they can make about that.
I know, and I don't watch a lot of those movies.
It's not like Johnny English. It's not
takes
corny.
Me years for them to be out of the theater and hit some kind of streaming site for me to watch them because I'm just not into the super corny. You know, some of them do well. We've talked about others before. We'll get into movies another time. Some of them are okay, but I just can't do the super corny.
Can't fuck it. I don't think it's corny, but I think if you watch the full season and said it was corny, I would agree with you. 2 episodes, I can't take that.
Is Aisha Tyler still on there?
Yeah, she is.
She's the only reason I watched it when I watched it.
Okay,
I wanted to hear her speak. That was it.
That's weird. Okay. That just got real creepy. So
I just like Aisha Tyler. What do you want?
She's dope. After Simpsons, they did Futurama, which is still on. They're still putting in rotation all the old episodes. There is a shout out to give to a man who came into adult late night prime time and has not looked back, and that's Seth MacFarlane.
Oh, goodness gracious. Seth
MacFarlane came with Family Guy, got canceled, came back, got canceled again, and then took over Fox. Because at one point, there was a 4 cartoon block on Fox, and 3 of them belonged to Seth MacFarlane.
And they were all spinoffs from...
No. Only one of them. The Cleveland Show was a spinoff of Family Guy. American Dad has nothing to do with Family Guy.
Oh, you know what? American Dad, though, because the voices were too much the same,
right? I
couldn't watch it as much. Because not Futurama. Family Guy was dope. Family Guy was super dope.
Yeah.
American Dad, I've seen quite a few episodes.
Okay.
But sometimes the voices bother me if they're too close.
Right. Because you can tell, you're like, well, that white guy is Cleveland from the Cleveland Show. But when you have a squad and you put together a bunch of shows, you're going to hear a lot of the same voices. It's kind of like his sketch show for 3 different ones. I actually like American Dad better than Family Guy because not a lot of people watch it so they can get away with more. So they'll say stuff like, Roger's like, I'm going to go in the back and get him a handy J. And you're like, I don't think Fox knows.
Wait, so is Bob's Burgers?
It's different. Bob's Burgers, it's not Seth MacFarlane.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's H. John Benjamin and the ones who did home movies. Like I said, Archer, Lucy, the Daughter of the Devil. They had their own stuff they were doing on Cartoon Network.
Oh, okay. Adult Swim. I got to check it out then because I thought it was basically the same, so I didn't pick that one up.
I don't know. Bob's Burgers is dope. I like all 4 of them, but that was Seth MacFarlane jumped into the late night cartoon game and just took the fuck over. Now,
very true.
This is an issue that we are having because it is hurting my soul that you have not fucking watched this yet, bruh. My favorite cartoon on television right now is Rick and Morty, son.
Okay, hold on. I've seen a couple episodes with you, and I'm into it. I just got to have the time. I did start it on Netflix. I started streaming it, or whatever. Maybe it's Hulu. I can't remember. But I did start it, so I'm getting there. I have a couple of the comics. I'm getting into them. I've seen the figures. I can't avoid Rick and Morty. It's just in my face. I've seen the clothing. I've seen the figures. They have the comics. I'm surprised there's not a damn full feature film yet in the big screen.
It just got picked up though. 72 episodes coming.
Baby. Yes. So I'm going to watch it. And the episodes I've seen with you have been very good. Very good. The animation's dope.
Yeah.
It's kind of that. It reminds me of like some of the weird scenes from Simpsons, but the humor is very adult. Like everything about it is there's nothing childish about it. There's drinking, there's drugs.
Oh, there's nothing kiddish. You want to hear a dope side?
So don't watch it with your kids. Parents.
No.
Unless your kids
are we're talking about adult ones right now. These are adult ones.
True.
But I got a good side note for you. Every Rick and Morty fan should know this.
There's a character called Mr. Poopy Butthole. Isn't that on there?
Yes.
So why would I ever want to watch something that has a character called Mr. Poopy Butthole?
There's Pencil Vester. He's a pencil. I don't know why that one's so funny. It's so fucking corny. He's like, oh, Pencil Vester, you get me. So I think for like season 30 or whatever of The Simpsons, they had a guest animator at the beginning of each episode.
Oh, that's super dope.
And Rick and Morty, they all did a intro. There was a Rick and Morty intro of The Simpsons.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go back just to that season and check that out.
I go back all the time. I think it's like 28 or 29. Anyway, Rick and Morty is the hottest cartoon on right now, and it's hilarious and it's everywhere. Now, while we're doing cartoons, we got to give some quick props for longevity.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when we were talking about this earlier, we kept out like the conglomerate, like the big ones, like Looney Tunes and Disney. They've been around for a long time. We don't count them, right? Everybody knows them. But there's some that should get props just for being around and still being relevant for as long as they have. Shoot the list to me, Jay.
We got The Simpsons. Of course. SpongeBob.
Yeah, SpongeBob has been around forever.
I have not seen enough of it in my life, but now that I have a little girl, I do plan to watch that one very specifically because SpongeBob is a worldwide phenomenon.
He is. He's so big. People were saying like kids were getting dumber because they were watching SpongeBob. You ever hear about that?
Those people who said that are stupid.
They said people who watch SpongeBob, like their IQs are lower. Dumber. You're like, dude, well, that show's been on for a long ass time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's well, when you've been around that long, there's got to be something to hate on you about.
I guess so.
It has to. So. What's another one?
We also got South Park. Goodness. Game changer.
South Park is definitely a game changer. They had a 3-way beef at one point with South Park, Simpsons, and Family Guy.
Okay, I don't know a lot of South Park, but what's your favorite episode? What's your favorite episode?
Here's the part where people are gonna be mad at me. Lifetime. I've seen maybe 12 episodes of South Park.
Okay. But you know the influence.
I know the influence. I know the references. I get people send me clips of it all the time. I've only seen maybe 12 full episodes.
I'm kind of right there with you, but there's two very specific ones I do remember, and that is when they say fish sticks, and they keep saying fish dicks. Something like that. And then, because Kanye West is on there.
Oh, yeah, gay fish. Kanye the gay fish.
Yeah, with the fish sticks. Yes. And then the chocolate salty balls.
Yeah.
I only remember the song. I don't remember the specific episode.
Suck on my chocolate salty balls.
Yeah.
Isaac Hayes. Stick them in your mouth and suck them. Everybody, come on, man. That's Chef. Everybody knew Isaac Hayes. That was a chef. He was the man. Yeah.
And then
we have one more. Go ahead.
From the similar era, I mean, and it is going crazy strong right now with no let up in sight. Pokemon.
Gotta catch them all. Pokemon has been around forever.
I mean, you have the cards.
Yes.
You have the games.
Check.
You have the new movie that did very well.
I liked it. It was pretty good.
With a great actor.
Yeah.
You have the figures.
Yep.
And you have more figures coming actually.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever else is out there. I mean,
the trading cards. My son's into the trading cards now.
Yo,
I gave him a pack
we would have collected at the time that they were coming out, we'd be rich right now.
We would, off some fucking trading cards.
But we were looking at those cards like those are for kids,
right?
And those kids now have valuables, in the form of a stupid trading card in the thousands.
Yeah. Pokemon it took over the world at one point. It is not looking back. It's not slowing down. It is 100% everywhere right now. Pokemon. On that note, with Pokemon, I was gonna say something. It's funny because when we were younger, our options for anime were super limited. We had maybe Dragon Ball Z if we could find it, and then Sailor Moon. That was it.
Remember how we watched Dragon Ball Z? We either
with the subtitle.
Caught it. No, I mean like physically how we were able to. We either caught it at the time it aired at like midnight.
Yeah.
If we wanted to be up or we're home, and if we missed it, then we just sucked and we tried to catch the next week or whatever.
Right.
Or we recorded the damn thing on what?
Yeah.
VHS.
On tape. We had to record it.
We had to record it so that we could watch it later. Because we could never freaking find Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z or GT and now Super and all this. Granted, the internet is live and well, and we can find it anywhere. But hot damn, back in the day, before the internet was on our TVs and on our phones, it was impossible to find it at the right time consistently if you had a life.
What's funny, and now anime is everywhere. You got One Punch Man, you got everything Toonami shows, you got Attack on Titan. Anime is everywhere. And it's funny you say that because now the reason why we picked our list of old school cartoons is because we narrowed it down to like 10 or 11.
Oh my gosh.
Because there were hundreds of cartoons out. The only difference was they were out, but you were limited to 5 channels.
Yes.
So those hundreds of cartoons were only on 5 channels. So you had to pick and choose what you watched. And a lot of cartoons people didn't watch. It's like, oh, I didn't watch that when that was on because I had to watch this. Now, with unlimited access to all knowledge and all things cartoons, you can watch a cartoon whenever you want, from wherever you want. You can take a shit and watch Bob's Burgers. You could be in the car and have the kids in the back watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Cartoons are everywhere because there's no limit. So because of that, we would like to say this to you. Next time you're chilling with your kids and you have some time, you guys are watching TV and you're watching their cartoons, which you might find crappy, Find some of the ones you used to watch. Put your kids on to what you used to watch. Put them up on game. Hey, my kids, like I said, I made them watch Thundercats. If they like it, they like it. Same thing with what did I say we were watching? We were watching.
I mean, you're talking He-Man.
We did He-Man. Yeah, we watched that. I made them watch Batman animated series. My daughter loves it. My son kind of likes it. X-Men, same thing. When there's action involved, my son will watch it. But when they're talking, he doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
But try to put your kids on to some old school stuff. Get on YouTube. Be like, you think that's a cartoon? This is what I used to watch. This is the one I used to love.
You know what? We didn't even bring one very important cartoon up.
Go.
And our kids have to watch this.
Ooh, go.
The Boondocks.
Oh my God, the
Surprise!
Boondocks.
I brought up the Boondocks.
The Boondocks.
How could we not mention the legendary
It's funny
Boondocks?
Because I own all 3 seasons.
So do we.
I own all 3 seasons. And
we have watched it many times.
I was put on by our producer, Valtria, that they are coming back.
Thank God.
They are coming back. And if they get all the voices, they get Regina King, if they get
bring it.
Reno 911, if they get everybody back, it's going to be dope.
Regina King, if you don't know, I'm a huge fan. Huge. Since way back. I'm talking not even Boondocks. Poetic Justice.
Yeah, I was a fan when you drank all of Ice Cube's beer. And he told you to take your ass to the stove. That's how long I've been a fan.
So our bad going this whole time without the bringing up the Boondocks, because that one is not only adult, very timely, and deserves a place in this cartoon history.
Absolutely. I quote the Boondocks. I'm gonna say once a week.
And if you were, actually, Valdria does it a few times. And if you are a person of color and your kids have not watched the Boondocks yet, there is no wrong age.
Shame on you.
I'm telling you that right now.
Shame on you. You should probably watch it edited though.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
Watch it on TV. Don't watch the DVD with the kids.
It's probably good.
It's kind of rough. It's kind of rough. But definitely, the Boondocks is the joint, the jam. So that wraps up our cartoon episode. Like we said before, please let us know what you think. Check us out on Instagram at Old School Perspective. Check us out on Twitter at We Are OSP. We don't have a Facebook or a MySpace, so we're not that old school. Don't be a dick. And then we'll tune in next time. Episode 3 should be just as dope. Let us know what you think. Yeah, man. Anything you want to say to the people?
Not really. Just hit us up. Give us some, some feedback. Give us some love. Show us
some love, man. Come on, man. I'm just fucking with you. Until next time, I am Shaun Q. Be smart.
This is Jay Roman. We out. Peace.
We out.